Hey, it's Ryan with Parts Doctor, and today I'm going to show you to replace the lid hinge on the Samsung washer. Need a couple different tools for the job. We'll leave those listed in the description below. Let's get started. The most common issue that we see at the hinges is they become rusted or corroded, which can cause the lid to not open and close smoothly, which can cause the lid to crack, or it can cause the hinge to break. For this repair, unplug or disconnect power to the washer. The first thing that we'll need to do is start by removing the lid. To remove the lid, what we'll do is we'll open up the lid, which will give us access to the screws on the side. Start by prying off this cover and setting aside to save for later. Now remove the two Phillips screws. These screws are stainless steel, so your magnet won't hold on to them. Make sure you hold on to them so you don't drop them. Now we'll repeat the same thing on the other side. Once again, we'll remove the cover and set it aside, and remove the two Phillips screws. With the screws removed, grasp the lid on both sides and wiggle it back and forth and lift up to remove. Carefully set it aside so you don't drop it and break it. Now we'll remove the lid hinge pins, just wiggling it back and forth until it pulls out. Make sure not to lose this plastic retainer. You'll only need to remove the lid pin for the side of the hinge that you're replacing on the washer. Now set the lid pin aside. The next thing we'll need to do is use a putty knife to pry open the two locking tabs on the front of the washer. They're located approximately 6 inches in on each side. Now we'll turn around and access the back side of the washer. With access to the back of the washer, we'll start by removing the back cover. Using a Phillips screwdriver, start by removing the 6 Phillips screws. With the screws removed, use a thin prying tool like a knife. Insert it on the edge here, while pulling with your fingers on the bottom to pop it open. Now lift out and set it aside. Next, we'll remove these 2 Phillips screws. Next, flip the control panel open. We'll need to remove the control panel slightly so we can access this screw. Next, we need to put the control panel back in place. Align these slots, rotate it back down. We're just going to temporarily put this back in place while we remove the top of the washer so we can access the hinge on the bottom side. Next, we need to remove these 2 Phillips screws. There's one here and one on the other side. Now we'll repeat the same thing for the other side. To remove the top, lift up on the back side while pushing forward. The top needs to clear this pin so it can be removed. Now we'll repeat the same thing for the other side. With the top free, pull it forward slightly so the front overhangs off the edge. Now lift it up and use something to support it. Next, we'll need to rotate the control panel up to access this screw. You'll need to support the hinge from the bottom side while you remove the Phillips screw. With the screw removed, you can now remove the hinge. With the hinge removed, inspect the hinge for any signs of rust, corrosion, or damage. If it is damaged in any way or rusted or corroded, it should be replaced. If you have a bad hinge and you need to purchase a new one, you can check out our website, partsdoctor.com. We'll leave a link in the description below. You want to make sure that you're searching with the model number from the tag on your washer to make sure you get the correct part. To install the hinge, make sure the screw holes are facing up and the hinge pin is facing forward. Insert it on the bottom of the washer and align the holes. With the holes aligned, reinstall this screw. Now flip the control panel down. Next, we'll lower the top and snap it back into place. This pin on the side needs to line with this hole. Lift up on the back of the washer while you slide the top back into place. Now, we'll repeat the same thing on the other side. On the front of the washer, push down to lock the front in place. Now, on the back side, we'll reinstall the 2 Phillips screws. Now, flip the control panel open, rotate it out, insert your finger to hold the hinge in place while you install the remaining screw. Now, insert the control panel into the slots and rotate back into place. Then, reinstall the 2 screws. Now, reinstall the back cover by inserting it at an angle and rotating it down to snap in place. Now reinstall the 6 Phillips screws. Now we need to access the front of the washer to reinstall the lid pin and the lid. To install the lid pin, align the flat edges with the flat edges here and slide it in place. Next, we'll reinstall the lid by aligning the openings on the bottom with the lid pins. Now, reinstall the 2 Phillips screws. And then put the screw cover back in place. Now, we'll repeat the same thing on the other side. And once again, reinstall the screw cover. With everything put back together, plug the washer back in and test it out to make sure that everything's working properly. So that's it for this video. If you have any tips or tricks of your own, let us know in the comments below. And if you like fixing things, please consider subscribing.